We're going to talk about wings. Most people like wings, but sometimes they're difficult because they're fried, they're greasy, and the oil that they're fried in is a polyunsaturated, which is not safe to consume. A friend of mine gave me this recipe, and it is probably the best recipe I've ever had. First of all, you take wings. The recipe as written on the video will be for about 4 pounds of wings. They're well drained and they're at room temperature. I have here baking powder and salt that's mixed together. And there are quantities that are listed that you should use, but you have to kind of go by what the wings look like when you're mixing them. I'm wearing rubber gloves to make it easier for me. I mix first. And these are going to get lightly coated with the salt and the baking powder. They work together chemically to make a very crisp skin on the chicken as it's baking. It's interesting because we start out baking these at 250 degrees for about 20 minutes. At the 20-minute mark, we're going to turn the oven up to 400 degrees and cook them for another 40 to 45 minutes. The lower temperature seems to allow the baking powder and the salt to work with the skin of the chicken, and the higher temperature allows the chicken skin to become crisp. Now these are starting to become slightly coated. You can feel it on the outside even through the rubber gloves. And there's the end of it. One final mix. And those are well coated on all sides with the salt and the baking powder. Now I'm just going to lay them out on baking pans that are lined with parchment paper. And believe me, you want to use the parchment paper because it makes cleanup a whole lot easier. Space them out so they're just about an inch, maybe half an inch apart. We do that because we want the air to flow around them when they're baking. That will allow them to become crisp. And I always try to put as much of the skin exposed up as you can. You have the option when these are cooking to turn them to get both sides of the skin exposed to the heat, but I found that you don't really need to do that. So we have our wings covered with the baking powder and the salt. We have them laid out on parchment paper. And now I'm going to put them in the oven, remember at 250 degrees for 20 minutes. Then we'll change it to 400 degrees for 40 minutes. And then our wings are done. They've been in the oven for an hour. The first 20 minutes at 250, the last 40 minutes at 400. Our wings have just come out of the oven. As you can see, they have become a very golden brown. The skin is really crisp, and we're going to plate these for you and see how they taste. Here we have the wings plated and ready to eat. As usual, we serve them with a little bit of celery, and we made a blue cheese dressing out of the mayonnaise that we've shown you how to make previously and fresh blue cheese. I think that you'll find that these are excellent, and I hope that you enjoy.